up, guys? It's Chasta and Huey for 107.7 The Bone. We got Jordan from Newfound Glory on the line with us. How you doing,
Hello.
brother? It's great to see you.
I'm good, thank you guys. Just sweating my buns off here in Dallas, Texas, and making our way back west. So
You're
I'm
in
stoked for that.
my sort of kind of old hood. I'm from Southern Oklahoma, just over the border there, and it's hot as the seventh circle of hell in that area in
Yeah,
August. So I feel for you. I know what that pain is.
yeah, and all these shows, of course, they're amphitheaters outside, so it's like
Sure.
perfect. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Well, when you get here next Saturday, of course, it's going to be an awesome show. I mean, Offspring,
Yeah,
Newfound Glory, Jimmy Eat World. It's going to be a little bit cooler. It won't be like that. It's not humid like that is.
yeah. Yeah.
We'll take care of
I'm,
you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I'm looking forward to it. I live in San Diego actually, so I'm like kind of close
Okay.
to home.
Okay. So you get
So
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome, Jordan. Listen, super excited to talk to you. I was just telling Chasta off the air before you jumped on here just how much your band means to me because growing up,
Show him the CDs. Show him the CDs. We have a pile of CDs at his feet at all times.
I was prepping. So yeah, I'm legit. Like I have it all here. Like I remember obviously self-titled, bought that junior year, 2000, like my junior year in high school, got that and just obviously went back and got the first covers album and then just
Yep.
everything. I mean, God, it's just
It's part of our youth.
Yeah, totally.
Big
Like
part of our youth.
I just like it was just so cool. Like last night I was at the gym last night and I was on the treadmill just listening to your songs and it just immediately put me in a good mood again because when I listen to your music, it just takes me back to a simpler time in my life personally, just, pre social media, pre even like internet being like what it is now. And just listening to your guys' songs and seeing you guys all the way back from like Warped Tour and then even opening for Green Day and like all the times you come to the Bay Area, San Francisco, Berkeley, wherever. I've seen you guys all those times and it's just such an amazing time period. So I just want to give you your flowers and just thank you for just writing like the soundtrack to my youth.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. It feels, I'm very flattered. Thank you.
Welcome.
I always have a hard time taking compliments just because I just feel like such a normal person half the time, most of the time.
Yeah.
So when you say that to me, like it feels really nice. So thank you for validating me. And thank you.
You're welcome. Well, hey, I cannot wait to, as Chasta just mentioned, you guys are coming back to Northern California, to the Bay Area specifically. So yeah, the Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, Newfound Glory, going to be at Shoreline and Mountain View next Saturday, August 30th. Get your tickets over Ticketmaster.com. Also, just want to shout out since, we are the Rock of the Bay, but hey, because of streaming and, we're very popular online with the Bone app, you are coming also to Wheatland. So Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, Newfound Glory, going to be at the Toyota Amphitheater in Wheatland the next day, Sunday, August 31st. So what better way to celebrate Labor Day weekend than with the Kings of Pop Punk? Get your tickets over Ticketmaster.com. So Jordan, obviously, basic softball question. How's the tours going so far with all these bands?
Really great. It's like this summer has been really fun so far. And I'm not just saying that, like it really has been fun. Like it's so like low stress for us because we're first out of the three bands and it's like 30 minutes. It's like, so like no responsibility. It's been awesome. And also, everybody hangs out. Everybody like says what's up to each other. Like, day one, Noodles was like watching us and said what's up to us. And then Dexter, the same thing. He watched us a few times and we've known the Jimmy Eat World guys since we were like teenagers. We used to go drive up and down the coast of Florida and see them play at like, the Vero Women's Center in Vero Beach, Florida with like no stage, you know what I mean? So we've known those guys for a long time. And this is actually the first time we've toured together with either of those bands. Like we've done festivals and different things like that, but not a full tour. So it's been really awesome. Like can't complain,
That's great. Huey and I have been reminiscing a lot, like we were in high school and into college at the time that you guys came to be. And like the bands that were on MTV and TRL at the time, like they're all coming back around, which we won't talk about the fact that makes us old, but whatevs. It's like, what's old is cool again kind of thing. So it's a resurgence and we just love it. And we're really stoked to be able to talk to you. I was thinking back, I was like, gosh, at that time, like Huey just kind of touched on it, that late 90s, early 2000s felt like a simpler time. They felt like I don't know, compared to what is going on now, it just felt almost charming in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, back when you were in Florida in the 90s and you're in your garage and you're starting to play music, like what was your goal? What I mean, you took over the pop punk hardcore world, but was that the goal? Like what were you thinking? Like try to remember what was in your teenage brain.
I honestly like nothing. It was
I love
like
it.
because seriously,
Yeah.
like we as kids, we would, teenagers, we'd go to shows, we'd go to local shows, and all the types of bands would play together, hardcore, punk, ska, like they would all
Right.
blend together, and it was just something to do. And at that time, we were like, well, this seems like it would be a fun way to kill time, so let's try and start a band. And
Yeah.
so we did, and I don't know, it just kind of, they always talk about the right place, right time sort of thing, and it wasn't even like we were even trying to get bigger than just play beyond like what our local scene was. So
Mhm.
um it's just kind of like we just kept at it because our shows kept getting bigger, and we got to open for, you know uh bands would come in town and tour and stuff, and we would be the local band that would open the show all the time. And
Yeah.
through that, we just started getting bigger fan base, and then we're like, you know what, let's try and like let's go play like Atlanta. Let's drive
Mhm.
a trillion hours and go play Atlanta for three people. And then that got bigger, and then it just kind of continued that way. And we just, yeah, I mean, we were like basically kids. I mean, I was 17 or 18 when we started the band, and Chad was 15. So we were really young.
That's
Um,
wild.
yeah, yeah.
Man, that's just so incredible to think about. And just I seen old footage because I remember back in the day, Drive Through Records released like a DVD of you guys with like the popcorn
Yeah,
box on there.
yeah, yeah.
I had that DVD, and it was just cool seeing like you guys on tour, just having so much fun. And I think that's what always gravitated me towards you, because obviously being from the Bay Area, grew up loving Green Day and then all the other Bay Area punk bands, East Bay punk bands from this area, and then seeing you guys explode on MTV. I was like, oh my God, like it just opened my world to just so much more great music from around the rest of the country. So, let's kind of just reflect on MTV a little bit, because
Yeah.
Chas and I, over the years, we've been very lucky, talked to a lot of bands that we love. And from that time period that we grew up loving them, and we like feeling nostalgic and just reflecting on that time period. Because I think for a lot of us, our youth, we're in the moment, we're going. I don't think we take a lot of time to kind of self-reflect, like enjoy that time we're in. And it's more of like later in life, we're like, oh, that was such a cool
Mhm.
time. So just from your, observation, what was that period like to be in a band that was like on MTV, TRL, like the prime era, that peak era of MTV?
Um, it was pretty surreal. Looking back, because now, like, I have two kids. Um,
Hmm.
and they find the stuff online and like send it to me and like think it's funny. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that. I forgot about Claire Danes painting a portrait of Ian on TRL with his shirt off.
Oh my God, I
And like,
remember that.
yeah, like that kind of stuff. Like, and it's like it was just such a bizarre, weird time to like. Here we are, these kids from Florida that are like, playing Times Square, playing in TRL, or like being interviewed on TRL or whatever it was. And like, I remember they had the street blocked off and people were like screaming like we're the Beatles or something. And it's like the weirdest, bizarre thing. And we're just like, well, I guess this is just what we do now, kind of thing.
How did
And
we
like,
get here?
yeah, how did we get here? And it's like, and it's awesome. I love like looking back on that and knowing that that was real, in the sense of like we worked our butts off to get to that point. And
Hmm.
also of course it comes with timing too, and like all that stuff you hear about, like when things like just work at the right time. But also too, like we really did, we busted our asses, like we toured a lot, we have real fans, we put records out that were meaningful to us and wasn't just BS, that so like I think it was all just like just a really cool, I don't know, just ended up being awesome. So I don't know. That's kind of like, yeah.
Was Let me ask you this, because like I remember as a fan following along, it's like, okay, new albums coming out, and it's like I get to follow the band along on the whole press cycle.
Yeah.
And you could kind of knew what the band was going to do, like late night TV shows. Obviously, love seeing you guys on Conan O'Brien,
Yeah.
MTV, other shows and whatnot. Was like going to TRL, like your like when you look at the list of like, okay, what's our tour, or excuse me, press cycle going to look like for this promoting this album? Was like MTV like, oh, a big old circle? Like, can't wait, that's going to be the highlight of the press tour. Or was there any other press moments that you maybe preferred or enjoyed more doing?
TRL was always fun every time we were on it. And but also I'm trying to think, like the times we did Conan, like those were always awesome because he was just a super cool guy and hilarious. And he would we did it a couple of times, and every time he would like be the first guy to break the ice and like come into the dressing room and like say what's up and stuff. And then
so cool.
Same thing with Leno. Like we did Leno a couple of times, and like that was really fun too because he's just like a character too. Yeah, man, like that was like such a, I don't know, just such a weird time in life,
It was a time, yeah, it was a cool time to be alive. You're talking about, being on tour a lot and working hard. I'm always fascinated with tour life because I'm a very like regimented person. I have my schedule and my to-do list every day. And I can only imagine like being on tour is a lot. And your band being so high energy, like you have to have a lot of energy to do what you do. How do you keep up with that? Like do you have habits? What are your workout schedules? Like how does that work on tour? You can be honest, no judgment.
Yeah. Okay. So typically, I'm usually the first person to go to bed on our bus.
Yeah.
I like to get in my bunk and watch my programs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's relatable right there.
Yeah. Yeah. But and then usually, I mean, a typical day for us is like get to the venue, kind of get your bearings, see where things are, see where catering is, that sort of vibe. And then we usually, the very first thing is like seek out coffee somewhere. A few of us are like big coffee heads. So like we try to find like good spots around. And then a lot of it after that is just like, all right, now what do you want to do? Okay, let's go back to catering and see what lunch is looking like. And then you go sit there for a minute and you're like, all right, we're done with lunch. Now what do we do? Okay, well, we still got like 8 hours till we play. So let's go sit in the dressing room and see what's on the TV. And then that gets boring. And then you're like, let's go sit on the bus. And then you kind of just, now the bus is bored. Let's go back to the dressing room. What's Jimmy Eat World doing? Let's say what's up to them. Like, it's just this like walking around aimlessly back and forth kind of thing. And
I am certainly available to build out a schedule for you guys.
I'll walk around with them. Keep them company.
It's weird. It's like these days tour for me is like almost like vacation. Because home life is so crazy, especially like now that, I have kids. Like I just had one that just started high school this week. I got another one. It makes me feel old.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
Even though I'm not old, like it just feels weird.
We're not old. I want to make sure I make that clear for F's sake. We are not old. But
I'm in my prime. I'm in my prime right now.
I have a kid too, so I get it. It's humbling. Like those moments, you're like, "Whew, wow."
Yeah, we just started young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, that's kind of like the vibe usually on tour. But this tour, because we have so much downtime, like we brought like me and a couple of the guys in my camp were like working out and stuff in front of the bus, like under a tent. Like prison yard style. So.
That makes me happy. I love it. I got Huey back into the gym, so now I'm gonna get newfound glory in the gym.
Hell yeah. So Jordan, I mean, like, listen, you've been doing this for a long time now, and it just for us fans, we've been very lucky to see you guys just at it for all these years. So many great music and all that stuff. But I'm just curious though, because we're all around the same age, and I think we're that generation that had the kind of the best of both worlds. As I mentioned earlier, like pre-internet, pre-social media, we knew how to like function and do things. And now we're in a world where we're all attached to our cell phones and whatnot. And so with that being said, obviously the times are changing. I'm always curious at the same time how the music industry has changed so much during that time period. From your viewpoint, I'm just kind of curious, what do you miss about being a band in the old days of like, I'm not just talking about just being young and whatnot, but just like
Yeah,
in a band, that atmosphere, what do you miss about that older era, pre-era, I guess, a pre-cell phone era or
sure.
social media?
I think I do miss like the biggest thing for me. I think I miss, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to like sound like a jaded guy or something, but
Yeah.
I really do miss the pre social media like thing, because back then, especially when we started, like, it was sort of like you had to bust your butt like to get
Mm-hmm.
any sort of like recognition. You had to
Mhm.
play real shows. You had to play in front of two people. Like, you couldn't just put your song out on TikTok and then become popular. Like, it wasn't like that. And hey, that's how it is now, and that's great. And I found out about a lot of cool bands that way too,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm always like looking for new stuff to listen to, and for that it's like cool. But I do really miss like you know, get out there and like bust your butt for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
like humble yourself, and then you know I don't know. I think that's like the biggest thing for me. And then secondly, I think it was cool to back then to like not be filmed or taken, you like living on your phone at the concert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that sounds like old guy or something, but
Nah.
I just
No, and
miss my T-Mobile sidekick. That's what I meant.
yeah.
That
Yes, absolutely.
guy.
I do too. I'm glad to hear you say that, Jordan, because like it was a different time and it was a special time. And I personally, I'm not a musician, but we've worked in radio for 2 decades now, and we've
Yeah.
supported a lot of bands, big bands, lesser known bands. And I think there's so much freaking value in starting out and playing to a room of no one. Like, I
Yeah.
think it really is a gut punch, but like that's the shit you grow from. You
Humbles
know what
you.
I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And again, like, I found out about a lot of cool bands that are like newer on TikTok and like social media.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, I know where like how my band started and where we came from and like what we had to do to get to where we are. And
Yeah.
sometimes, it knowing that sort of feels good.
The fight and the battle is part of what makes you proud, I'm sure, right?
Totally. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I think that's also, um it's also, you know, helped with the fact that we've been around for as long as we have.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that and I
Mhm.
and I know that, I feel like my band is respected in that way. There's lots of bands that started because of my band, which is
Mhm.
really, really flattering and cool, and I love that. And I think I think we're just gonna keep doing what we do,
Never say die.
Yeah.
Goonies never
yeah,
say die.
yeah, yeah,
Love their version of
exactly.
it. Love your guys'
Yes,
version.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, with that though, like, what's some of the challenges of being a pop punk band now, as far as, because I feel like we're kind of like this new territory of like what pop punk is now and how it's evolved. Like back in the day, like all us young people who were listening, we could relate because the lyrics and the message was, teen angst and just
Yeah.
being young and like coming of age and moving on that next phase of your life, heartbreak, all that stuff. And then to be in a pop punk band in your early to mid 40s, still trying to stay relevant and evolve as a band and not like trying to find like new inspiration, what to write about, what to sing about. So
Yeah.
like, what are some of those challenges of being a pop punk band that keeps evolving over decade after decade?
Yeah, I think definitely the challenge is what we're writing about, and also having to, because people expect a certain thing from you. Like, they expect you to
Mm-hmm.
look a certain way, and they expect you to like
Mhm.
write songs a certain way, especially like in this genre. Um, but for us, like, we've always written about like what's going on within each other's lives within that moment of time.
Okay.
Mhm.
um, and I think that's what has kept us relevant for so long. We're not 40 years old writing about like, when I was in high school, my dad left me, like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's real things, and it's real life stuff, and I think that's why people can still relate to us no matter like
Mhm.
what age that they are.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but it definitely is a challenge, because people do expect a certain thing from you.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but I always say, like, what do you expect? Time to stop? Like, it's not. Like, I'm gonna, people are like, why do they look so old? Or like, why are they whatever? Like, I'm like, yeah, what do you expect? Time to stop? Like, you're gonna get old too.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens to the
Yeah.
best of us. You
Father
grow.
time always wins.
Yeah, and you evolve. I have to ask, like, outside of the genres that you create music in, what's the furthest out from anything that we would expect musically for you to listen to? Like a band, an artist, a
Uh,
song? Like,
well,
what's your deal?
yeah, I actually I feel like my musical taste is pretty eclectic. I mean, I still like a lot of the stuff I listened to when I was like 13, 14 years old. Like one of my favorite bands is My Bloody Valentine, who's like a shoegaze band from
Of
Ireland.
course,
So,
sure. Yeah,
Loveless is one of my all-time like top 5 records.
yeah.
Them, and I was a huge fan of, and still am. I recently saw them, Dinosaur Jr.
Oh my God,
Oh,
me
And
too.
like,
No one
yeah,
ever says that. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
like
I love it.
I've since high school. What's funny is my mom sent me a photo she found. It's me. I'm 13 years old, and I got my Dinosaur Jr. Start Chopping T-shirt on with my
Oh my God.
flannel wrapped around my waist, and I'm at and it's at Universal Studios Orlando, and I'm leaning against the MCA Records sign because MCA Records had like at Universal, I guess they had like a museum or something at the time, and I'm
Oh
leaning
wow.
against this sign, and like the weird thing is like several years later, or however long it was, we signed to MCA.
yeah.
It was so
Whoa, that's
weird.
weird.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah, super cool though. I love
Yeah,
it. I love that we have that in common because I don't hear very many people say that, unfortunately.
yeah,
Way underrated band.
yeah. Super underrated, but they're so awesome live too. Like they're just so loud and like
Yeah,
sound amazing. Like it's just they're awesome.
that's so
What do you
cool.
think of
Yeah,
the current state of pop punk right now? Because
yeah,
I think like 10 years ago, there was a lot of great bands coming out, like
yeah,
State Champs, Neck Deep,
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
Pierce the Veil's doing their thing. There
yeah.
were, but that was like 10 years ago now. But now I feel like there's still like an upswing right now. Like in rock in general. I know like Chasta, we were talking, was it Live Nation reported like
Yeah,
rock was like the best selling tickets this year for
genre.
their genre.
Hmm.
And then like, we go to Aftershock Festival here in Northern California, Sacramento, and
Yeah.
like day one, it's like the kings of pop punk there. It's like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, All American Rejects, like all these bands that are active and playing. But
Yeah,
then it's also, you see a lot of young bands like The Paradox, who I know
yeah.
cite you guys as like big influence. And
Mm.
and obviously A Day to Remember keeps doing their thing, who obviously influenced by you guys and you worked with them. Just kind of your thoughts on the state of pop punk and like this upswing for rock music.
Yeah, I love that it's like having this upswing, and the cool thing about it, and in my opinion, is that like because I'm living it, and I'm like here seeing it and finding out about new bands and taking cool bands on tour and different things like that. Like it never really went anywhere per se. Like it's just like for some reason it's just having this like big like upswing, like you said, and there's a lot of really cool new bands that have come out, like in the last few years, even after, like Story So Far, and like
Yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
All time low.
Yeah,
Mhm.
All Time Low's been around for a little bit, but
Yeah.
like, but I don't know, and all these bands are like killing it, like, which is crazy. Like it's really awesome. I mean, A Day to Remember, like seeing them play, headline arenas and stuff, like it's wild to me.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
We
yeah,
host a new music show on the Bone, the radio station that we run, and it's called Bone Breakers. And it's been so much fun to play all of these bands, including your brand new song, 100%, by the way,
oh
that we've
thanks.
been rocking. It's really, really great. So, yeah, we're here to support, and we love it. We're the active rock kids,
Yeah, yeah.
kids, quote unquote. We
Yeah.
talk a lot about music, but I do want to nerd out with you about tattoos just for a second because I want to get a tattoo from you.
Oh
Uh,
nice.
so so how do you I'm a tattoo nerd. I love it. They're my favorite thing in the world. I always have the itch, if you will.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like, do you just take your kid everywhere and you like decide to do like a pop-up, or how does this
No,
work?
no, I had like up until January I had like up until January I had a private studio
Yeah.
in southern in San Diego,
San Diego. Yeah.
And then I moved out of it because I went to Japan for a few months and I didn't want to pay rent on the space.
Fair.
So
Yep.
I'm currently without a space to tattoo out of.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm hoping that after, because I'm pretty busy till the end of the year.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that by the new year, I'll have a new space to do it out of. So
In San Diego, that's an easy flight I
yeah,
can take. By the
yeah.
way, the tattoo artist who's done most of my tattoos, do you know Matt House? He was in San Diego for a while.
I don't know.
He's
I
very
think
good. He's more traditional style.
okay,
He's fantastic. Very, very
cool.
good. Very good artist.
Yeah,
But he
that's
was down
awesome.
in San Diego. He just opened his own shop in Palm Springs, Palm Desert area. But all
Yeah,
right, well, when you get your new place, I'll have to drop down to San Diego and get a tattoo. And by the way,
yeah.
I just have to say our boy Huey over here doesn't have any.
Oh
So
dang.
it would be very freaking cool, Huey. I'm just saying, for you to get your first tattoo from Jordan. I mean,
I'm worried I'll pass out before the needle even
you
touches my
will.
skin.
You will,
I'm
for
such a
sure.
big baby.
Yeah, that's funny.
That I will pay to see, by the way.
Yeah,
Just act right
yeah.
now for you. Man. But Jordan, also, as Chasta mentioned, we've been playing 100%. It's just so cool for us, you know, a band that we love. I can like tell them to your face, I love playing your new single. It's
Oh,
incredible.
thank you.
And you're welcome. I saw some interviews from earlier this summer when you were in Europe. A lot of people were asking about the new record update. Just kind of curious right now, what's the latest on that? I know early or a few months ago, it was like
Yeah.
in a mix mode. But at this time, can you give us like an update, like release date or album title? Is there any new info you can provide?
Still trying to excuse me. Still trying to come up with the release date. Like when's going to be the best time to do it because.
Okay.
We are so busy till the end of this year, and then next year we're still trying to figure out like what touring's looking like and stuff. And we really wanted to line up like really good. So like it's gonna be sometime next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
in the between now and when the record actually releases, we're gonna be putting out like probably like 4 to 5 songs before the record even
great.
comes out. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, we'll be all over it.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
also, you know, as a fan, just, you know, Chad, update on him. How's his health
Yeah.
going? I saw he played with you guys earlier
did.
this week in St. Louis, and he's kind of doing select dates here and there when he can. Just, how's he doing right now?
He's so that's, you know, he's going through hell, but he is a stubborn friggin' beast. and
Yeah.
and it's, you know, every day it's different. You know, some days he's really good, some days he's like just wanting to be in bed all day. It just really depends, but he is kicking its butt. I mean, he's like, you know, he's been getting really good results through like his therapy and treatments.
Cool. Okay.
It's not obviously it's not fully gone, or else he'd be on tour. But
Yeah.
It's up and down. But right now he's doing okay. So
He's fighting the good
It's good.
fight, though.
yeah.
And when he's able to play back with you guys, I'm sure that, like, you know, keeps his spirit going. Because
Oh yeah.
music is
Yeah.
medicine. That's what I always say in so many ways. And for him, it's like, I'm sure it's a direct lift to his spirit. That's really cool.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to keep you from your daily catering schedule there in Texas, but I do have one more question for you. It's our favorite question, our most important question. It's from the film Almost Famous, from, you know, back around the same time that you guys were hitting it big.
Yeah.
And the question is, what do you love about music?
What do I love about music? For my favorite thing about music is finding out about new bands. So I love searching and looking for new bands, because that's how I got into this type of music to begin with. Like, I bought a record, I saw what bands they thanked in the record, and I went and searched out those bands, or seeked out those bands. And now with things like streaming and everything, it makes it a lot easier to find out about new bands because you have all the recommended stuff. So that's my favorite part. I love finding out about a rad new band that sounds awesome, or that reminds me of old bands that I like, and then I love playing it for my friends. Oh, have you heard this band? Like, you know, so there's lots of cool new stuff out there like that is awesome. So
That's very cool. It's amazing. Like, Huey and I've asked that question for the better part of 10 years. By the way, please excuse my light. It's going out. I knew it would before this interview went out. Look at that. The ghosts are taking over. No, it's cool because we asked that question for so long and we always get different answers. And Huey, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody has ever talked about the discovery of new artists, right? Like, that's
No.
It's amazing. There's so many
It's-
answers to that one question. That's so cool.
There
Look
you
at
go.
you being original, Jordan. Look at you.
Awesome. Jordan, listen, from Chasta and myself, like, thank you. Our big thing is giving flowers to the bands that we love.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you so much for everything. But personally, I just want to thank you for helping me through a bad time. I mean, and you don't know this, but my mom passed away in 2002, September 2002. And so I remember seeing you guys earlier that year at the Warped Tour in San Francisco at the Piers 30 and 32. And then October 2002, saw you guys at the Concourse in San Francisco. It was that tour with Finch, Something Corporate, and Further Seems Forever. And it was like a month after my mom passed, but it was just like such an amazing, fun night out that I needed. And then obviously since then, every time you guys come to the Bay Area, it's always just been a fun time to just let loose and like whatever crap you're dealing with in your life, just let it go and just enjoy you guys for an hour, hour and a half set, whatever it is. Have so much fun. So I just want to thank you just for writing music that was just, just inspiring, uplifting, but just more importantly, just fun and getting through tough times. So thank you for all that.
Yeah, and you're welcome for that. And that's why, hearing things like that is why we continue to still do what we do. So I appreciate it.
It's medicine. It's
so we
true.
encourage everyone, get your last minute tickets over Ticketmaster.com. Offspring, Jimmy Eat World, Newfound Glory. Going to be at Shoreline Mountain View next Saturday, August 30th. And then the next day up in Wheatland at the Toyota Amphitheater, Sunday, August 31st. Ticketmaster.com. Can't wait for the new album when it does come out. But in the meantime, you can hear it 100% on 107.7 The Bone. Jordan, good luck with everything. Can't wait to see you guys next weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.